Hi everyone, welcome to Gnan Cloud Garage. In this session, I'm going to talk about how to configure RAID on HPE ProLiant Gen 10 Plus server using iLO. One of the key option in the iLO is intelligent provisioning. So using intelligent provisioning option in iLO, we are going to configure RAID on HPE ProLiant Gen 10 Plus server. Okay, and here are the prerequisites. So before we start the RAID configuration, we should have ensure that HP ProLiant 10 Gen 10 Plus server is powered on and connected to the network. And access iLO using web browser, we will need iLO IP address and login credentials. Okay, these two are the key requirements before we configure RAID. Okay, so let me connect to the lab system. Okay, once we connect to the lab system, first we have to access the iLO. So let me connect to the iLO. So this is the iLO console. When we connect to the iLO console, see we can start. We are good to start with the RAID configuration. See the first steps. There are few key steps. The first step, access iLO, power on the server. This is the first step. So let's back to the console. Currently, if you see the status, server power is in off state. So let me launch the console. So when you launch the console, currently server status is in power off state. So we have to power on. So just go to the power, momentary press so that it will start power on. Okay. So during the power on state, we have to press F10 to select intelligent provisioning option. Okay. So remember the key, it is a function 10, F10. And we can also see the key in the display here in the while booting, you can see the key here. So currently server booting is in progress. Initially, it may take a while to boot up. You can see here early system initialization. Please wait. Now TPM measurements start. One by one, all the hardware components is initializing start complete. See now you can see system security, all BIOS configuration initialization. We can see within the screen, we can see the function 10 F10 button. When we see that, immediately we have to press. Okay, you can see here boot menu F11, intelligent provisioning F10. So select here function F10. So now this button is highlighted. So it will start booting to the intelligent provisioning. So using intelligent provisioning only, we are going to configure RAID on this HPE ProLiant Gen 10 Plus server. You can see the model on the screen itself, HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen 10 Plus. So even the HPE ProLiant other models also almost similar kind of RAID configuration. That's why in the title I just mentioned HPE ProLiant Gen 10. Either it is DL series server or ML series, density line or any other models also same procedure. Now it is going to load to the intelligent provisioning state. Okay, so currently it is in the intelligent provisioning. This highlighted entry will be executed automatically in few seconds. Okay, so we can wait until its configuration is completed. It will automatically execute the intelligent provisioning. Okay, now it is booting to intelligent provisioning. We have to monitor the screen until it provides a on-screen instructions. In the meantime, it's taking a while to load. In the meantime, I will show you the slide. See the first option, access iLO, power on the server. This step we completed. We already power on the HPE ProLiant DL380 Gen 10 Plus server. And press F10 for intelligent provisioning. This step also we completed, second step. And we already pressed the function 10 key. And now select performance maintenance. This option we are waiting. So once it is loaded completely, we have to choose performance maintenance option. So back to the console, see intelligent provisioning is loading. Okay, it is a first time setup. So just click on this first time setup. We are good to skip because we already done it. So are you sure intelligent provisioning may not fully functional if you skip this step? Yes, because we are going to configure separately. See, when you click here, you can see intelligent provisioning, world's most advanced server configuration software. You can configure using RAID setup or you can choose performance maintenance. Excuse me. So select performance maintenance. So there are a couple of options available. For our RAID configuration, there is an option to RAID configuration. So click on RAID configuration. Sorry. So please wait. Now the RAID configuration is loaded. Within the RAID configuration, we can see Smart RAID HPA controller. So we have to select the RAID controller. Sorry. So when you select the RAID controller, we can see actions configure. So this is the option where we can see configure arrays, logical drives, HPE smart cache encryption settings on the selected smart array controller. So we have to select the smart array. And even if you see in the right side, controller configuration summary, there are 8 unassigned drives. So for this 8 unassigned drives, I'm going to configure right now. Okay. So in order to do that, when you select the RAID configuration, it is nothing but a smart storage administrator. Within the smart storage administrator, select smart HPE smart array controller and click on configure. Okay, when you click on configure, left side you can see logical drives are 0 arrays, 0 logical drives. That means there is no logical devices, but we have a physical devices are 8 physical devices, but these physical devices are currently in the unassigned state only, 8 unassigned drives. So both are same. We have physically 8 physical drives, but all 8 are a unassigned state. We are not yet assigned to a logical drives. Okay. Before create a array, let's back to the slide. I will just navigate the until what level of step we completed. See, we already selected performance maintenance option and we select the RAID configuration. This step also completed. And the fifth step, select RAID controller. We just know we selected the RAID controller. And now we are going to click on create array and we are going to create a array. But while creating the array, select the specific hard drives as per RAID configuration. So this RAID configuration purely our choice, whatever the RAID you want to configure, like we can configure RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 1 plus 0 or RAID 5, RAID 6 and so on. Based on the customer requirements, we can configure the RAID. So for example, what I'm trying to do, I will show you in the lab now. We have totally 8 drives. So what I'm thinking is with these 8 drives, 2 drives I'm planning to dedicate for a OS drive. That means we are good to configure RAID 1 for OS drive. And the remaining 6 hard drives, we can configure RAID 5. The RAID 5 specifically for the 6 drives, we are allocating for a data drive. Okay, I repeat this step. We have 8 drives. So I'm giving a first 2 drives for a RAID 1. RAID 1 means mirroring. Only 50% of data only allocated for OS drive. But the benefit of RAID 1 is in case of any one drive is failed, there will be no production impact. Our data is available on another hard drive. So RAID means redundant array of inexpensive disk. Okay. And within these 8 drives, as I mentioned, 2 drives for OS drive and the 6 drives I'm going to assign for a data drives. So before start, so how we can do is just click on create array. So create array means create an array from a group of selected physical drives. Once array is created, the unused space unavailable for creating a logical drive. Whatever we have unused or unassigned one, it will become as a logical drive. And a logical drive cannot be created unless an array exists. If you do not have a really existing physical drives, we cannot create a array. Okay, it's a correct valid point. So we already have existing drives. Using these drives only, we are going to create a array. So click on array. If you see, we have a 900 GB equivalent. All the disks have a 900 GB. We have 8 drives. For OS partition, OS drive, I'm going to select a 2 drives. So select first one and bay 2. So I'm selecting bay 1 and bay 2. The remaining one, bay 3, bay 4, bay 5, 6, 7, and 8. These 6 drives will create later. Okay. When you select the 2 drives, okay, now you can see in the right side, also first observe the left side, there are 2 selected drives and total size is 1.64 terabyte. And equivalent to either TAB means 1.64, terabyte means 1.80. Okay, so now click on create array. When you click on create array, it is asking one or more selected drives are connected to mixed mode ports directly expose it to the OS. These drives will become unavailable to the OS after this operation. Are you sure you want to continue? That means if there is any existing data, it completely will be formatted. So we are good to proceed. Click on yes. And see, while creating a logical drive, it is showing us the drives because we have only 2 drives. 2 drives means within a RAID, we can configure either RAID 0 or RAID 1, but we cannot configure RAID 5 because to configure RAID 5, minimum requirements is 3 hard drives, but we selected only 2 hard drives. So either we can choose either RAID 0 or RAID 1, but recommended is RAID 1. Okay, and strip size, full strip size, go with the default, don't need to modify. Okay, and the sector size also go with the default. And if you see the size, as I mentioned, RAID means mirroring, so it's equivalent size only. So this is the maximum size we will get, and some size will be going for a caching. So now click on create logical drive. When you click on create logical drive, it says user space will be 1.6 terabyte and overall, and the logical drive it shows only the equivalent to 900.15 GB. Okay, so now click on finish. When you click on finish within our logical drives, when you select the logical drive, you can see there is a one logical drive created, drive one. But how we created this drive? Using two hard disks, bay one bay 1 900 GB, bay 2 900 GB. To mixing of these two, we configured a RAID one. Okay, but still, if you see in the below, unassigned drives are 6 unassigned drives. So using this 6 unassigned drives, I am going to create a one more RAID, which is RAID 5. This 6 drives I am going to dedicate it for a data drives. Okay, so again, same procedure, click on create array. See, if you see, we have a remaining 6 drives. So select all, and here also select all. If you see, there is a green tick for all the 6 drives. Okay, so now click on create array, and are you sure you want to continue? Click on S. But this time you can see RAID 0, RAID 10, RAID 10 triple, RAID 5, RAID 6, 50. But only difference is, suppose for example, for testing purpose, if we select the RAID 0, just scroll down, you can see the size we can get approximately 4.9. Okay, but RAID 0 means the data is copied like a striping. Striping means if you copy a B, C, D, E, F, all the data A, B, C, D, F, A will be stored on one drive, B will be stored on second drive, like that. So writing will be very slow. Suppose if I select a RAID 5, we can see how much data is allocated. We will get approximately 4 terabyte. Suppose if I select a RAID 6, the data is 3.2 terabyte. Suppose if I select RAID 50, we will get 3.2. And even if I select a RAID 10 triple, we will get 1.6 terabyte. So that is the reason each RAID level, the size will be vary. So currently we are planning to choose RAID 5, and the optimal size we will get is 4 terabyte. Okay, RAID 5 means the data will be stored with a parity. Okay, striping with parity. So when you select RAID 5, 4 terabyte will get. So now click on create logical drive. So now creation is in progress. You can see 4.9 terabyte is total usable space. Okay, this will be become as a logical drive 2. And what is the disks we assign? We assign totally 6 drives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these 6 drives we assign to the logical drive 2. So now click on finish. See, if you see, we have array A with the 2 drives, 1 logical drive. Array B with the 6 drives, 1 logical drive 2. There is information because rebuilding is parity, rebuilding will be in progress. It may take a while. Later, this information mark will be cleared. Okay. So now within our drive, our RAID controller, we managed to configure 2 arrays, 2 logical arrays. Okay. Hope you understand this step. Until this, we successfully configured the RAID. The same steps I highlighted in our slide. See, select the hard drives as per RAID configuration. But we already decided to configure RAID 0, sorry, RAID 1 and RAID 5. I shown you how to configure RAID 1 and how to configure RAID 5. So this step, seventh step is completed. And eighth step, select RAID level size, create logical volume. This one also size, optimal size only we selected. And if you want to create different logical drives, yeah, we already created different logical drive for logical drive 2. Logical volume 2 also created. And the 10th point is select bootable logical drive. This is one important point. So select bootable logical drive means we already created 2 logical volumes, logical volume 1, logical volume 2. We have to decide which one become as a bootable one. So that option I will show you now. Excuse me, sorry. So when you select the smart, again select the HPE Smart Array controller. Under the Actions tab, scroll down, you will find the option for a look for a bootable option. When you scroll down, you can see set bootable logical drive volume. So when you select set bootable logical volume, you can see local logical drive 1, local logical drive 2. So when you're planning to use drive 1 as a OS, so select this is the option. Okay, and the remaining one just keep it as a none. Okay, so now click on OK. This point only I highlighted in our slide. So you can see controller hardware information. So logical one is already assigned as a bootable volume. Okay, so now click on finish. Here we no need to modify, just to review all the settings information. Click on finish and go back to the slide. So this 10th point also we finished. We already set the bootable logical drive, which is logical volume 1. And until now, the RAID configuration is completed. And the next step, 12th point is reboot the server to apply these changes. Okay, so to reboot is just straight away procedure. We can close this wizard. See, are you sure you want to exit the application? Okay. Once we are okay, then we plan to do a reboot option here. Power off, instead of power off, we have to choose reboot system. So are you sure the system will reboot? If you proceed, yes, click on yes. So reboot is in progress. So 12th step also completed. And now 13th step, server should now boot with the configured RAID array. The RAID array is, as we are aware, 2 drives assigned for a RAID 1 and 6 drives assigned for RAID 5. Okay, this one also we can observe once server is boot up. And last but not the least, once the configuration is completed, we are ready to install the OS from CD or DVD, or you can mount a local ISO file. This OS in option is it's subjected to be customer's choice. The OS can be, we can install VMware ESXi operating system, or we can install a Windows latest OS, Windows Server 2022, or we can install a Red Hat Enterprise Linux or Core OS, or we can install a SUSE OS. Anything depends on the customer's recommendation. Okay, but the procedure is, before we want to install any OS on our bare metal hardware HPE ProLiant Gen 10 Plus servers, this RAID configuration is the initially recommended step. Okay. So I will show you the 13th and 14th steps one more time. So currently reboot is in progress. Once the server booting is completely up, how we can mount the ISO is, so you can see when you see within the remote console virtual media, we can mount from a CD DVD. You can use either virtual media URL, or you can mount a local ISO file. Local ISO file means within your system, I already downloaded from some ISO files. You can choose any ISO file and install the OS. Okay, but while installing OS, you can select press F11 boot menu and change the menu to CD DVD, virtual CD DVD. Then only it will start booting from the ISO. Okay. And the rebooting now, while rebooting itself, the RAID controller, whatever we configured, it will be set automatically. The changes will be applied. Okay, reboot may take a while. Hope you understand all the steps how to configure a RAID on HPE ProLiant Gen 10 Plus server. Okay, that's it. Thank you. If you're watching this video, please do view, like, share, and subscribe to the Gnan Cloud Garage channel. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate all your support. Bye for now.